正直漫画家になりたいことは、諦めたことはないんですけど、現実になれないかもしれないっていうのは思いました。
Collecting countless awards for his amazing artwork and story, gaining millions of die-hard fans that would go to all sorts of lengths for this particular series, and going on to becoming one of the greatest shonen mangaka of all time. However, life wasn't always like this for the creator of Naruto. In this video, we'll be going through the early life of the famous Masashi Kishimoto, and how he went on to create the masterpiece which we all know as Naruto. But before we get into this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the notification bell to stay updated on my latest uploads. Also follow me on Twitter for any new updates concerning the channel. This video is spoiler free since I'll only be discussing the life of Masashi Kishimoto. So Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, never always had it easy, and the route to success was for sure a bumpy road. So many of us see Naruto as one of the greats within the shonen industry. It has shaped most of our childhoods even before we all understood the concept of anime. However, Naruto broke so many barriers, not only in Japan, but throughout the entire world. So why don't we understand what caused the creation of the famous Naruto, and what sort of upbringing and challenges Masashi Kishimoto had to face. So without further ado, let's get straight in. So to kick things all off, let's understand the early life of Masashi Kishimoto and what his upbringing was like. I'm sure there'll be a lot of new facts that you guys will learn about the creator of Naruto and how his childhood helped to shape this masterpiece, which would go on to take the world by storm. Anyways, Masashi Kishimoto was born in Okayama Prefecture in Japan on November 8, 1974. However, he is the older identical twin brother of Seishi Kishimoto. It's not every day that twins are born into the world. Anywho, during his childhood, Kishimoto showed interest in drawing characters from the anime shows he watched, such as Dr. Slump's Arale and Doraemon characters. In elementary school, Kishimoto started watching the Kinnikuman and Dragon Ball anime alongside his twin brother. During the following years, Kishimoto started looking up to Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, enjoying not only his series of Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump, but also Dragon Quest, a video game for which Toriyama was an art designer for. However, he could not afford to buy Weekly Shonen Jump, where the Dragon Ball manga was published. He followed the series thanks to a friend from school. By high school, Kishimoto started losing interest in manga as he started playing baseball and basketball. He was heavily involved in these sports activities. But this all changed upon seeing a poster for the anime film Akira. Kishimoto became fascinated with the way the illustration was made and wished to imitate the series creator Katsuhiro Otomo's style. Well, because of his massive interest in wanting to create manga, his grades weren't the best. I mean, that's typical if you're so invested in wanting to do something else. A lot of us can relate to this. But anyways, if Kishimoto never came across the Akira poster, then his life and millions of other lives around the world would look so different right now. But thank God Kishimoto saw the poster. Who knows, Kishimoto could be in the NBA or MLB right now. During his last years of school, Kishimoto spent time drawing manga and went to an art college with hopes that he would become a manga artist. When he had entered college, Kishimoto decided he should try creating a Chanbara manga since Weekly Shonen Jump had not published a title from that genre. As for what Chanbara manga is, it is a series created from the influence of Japanese history such as the samurai. However, during the same years, Kishimoto started reading Hiroaki Samura's Blade of the Immortal and Nobuhiro Watsuki's Rurouni Kenshin, which were in the same Chanbara genre. Kishimoto recalls having never been surprised by a manga ever since reading Akira and found that he was still not able to compete against them. In his second year of college, Kishimoto started drawing manga for magazine contests, and one of those being for Shonen Jump, but he mentioned that his works were similar to a seinen manga, aimed towards a young adult demographic, rather than the shonen manga read by children. Wishing to write a manga for Shonen Jump that targets a younger audience, Kishimoto found his style unsuitable for the magazine. When watching the anime series Hashire Melos, Kishimoto was surprised by the character designs employed by the animators, and he started researching works from the animators. He later met Tetsuya Nishio, a designer from the anime adaptation of the manga Ninku, who he deemed as a big influence. Now emulating the way of drawing from multiple character designers from anime series, Kishimoto said that his style started to become more suitable for a shonen series. Now on to the point which would go on to change Kishimoto's life forever, and that is his earlier works during the mid-90s. Kishimoto's first successful manga pilot was Karakuri, translated to Mechanism, which he submitted to Shueisha in 1995. This earned him an honorable mention in Shueisha's monthly Hop Step Award in 1996, which is awarded to promising rookie manga artists. At this point, he was assigned an editor, Kosuke Yahagi, and worked on a number of rejected drafts, including a slice of life manga, Michikusa, which is translated to into Wandering Detour, as well as an action manga which was also rejected, known as Asian Punk. In 1997 he wrote a one-shot version of Naruto, which was published in Akomari Jump Summer and was well received, but proved difficult to rework into a continuing series. However, on December 1997, Kishimoto was offered the chance to release a one-shot in Weekly Shonen Jump, so he brought out his previous work, Karakuri, which won an award in Shueisha's monthly Hopstep Award back in 1996, but because of the tight deadline, he couldn't revamp Karakuri as much as he wanted. Unfortunately, when the one-shot debuted 2 weeks later, it wasn't well received from the fans, causing its immediate cancellation. Because of this setback, believe it or not, Kishimoto decided to delve into the world of seinen manga, with drafts for a baseball manga, Yakuo, translated to Baseball King, and also surprisingly a mafia manga called Mario, in hopes to find better luck with a seinen magazine. Yahagi, his editor at the time, persuaded him to give the shonen genre one last try, and Kishimoto began working on storyboards for a fantasy one-shot called Magic Mushroom, but he stopped when Yahagi called and asked him to instead develop storyboards for serialization. The two decided to submit a version of Naruto with a reworked story, as they went on to produce storyboards for the first 3 chapters, winning a spot in the magazine. With a 6-month lead time, Kishimoto repeatedly revised and redrew the first several chapters of the series. This was the turning point in Kishimoto's life. After countless failures, his resilience paid off. In September 1999, the serialized version of Naruto premiered in Weekly Shonen Jump and quickly became a hit, with the series then getting an anime adaptation in 2002 which skyrocketed it even more, not only in Japan but throughout the world. Also, let's keep in mind that anime and manga was sort of looked down upon during this time, but Kishimoto helped to change that. Naruto then ended on November 10th, 2014, after more than 15 years of serialization. With a total of 700 chapters collected in 72 volumes, sales have exceeded 113 million copies in Japan and over 95 million copies in the US, followed by over 93 million copies worldwide outside of Japan and the United States as of volume 36. It was adapted into 2 successful anime series. The Naruto manga series became one of Viz Media's top properties, accounting for nearly 10% of all manga sales in the US in 2006. The 7th volume of Viz's release became the first manga to ever win a Quill Award when it claimed the award for Best Graphic Novel in 2006. Responding to Naruto's success, Kishimoto said in Naruto Collector Winter 2007 and 2008 that he was very glad that the American audience has accepted and understood ninja. It shows that the American audience has good taste, because it means that they can accept something previously unfamiliar to them. A little fun fact is that 2 of his former assistants, Osamu Kajisa, the creator of Tattoo Hearts, and Yuichi Itakura, the creator of Hands, have gone on to moderate success following their work on Naruto, which allowed their series to be published in Weekly Shonen Jump. Anyways, one more little fun fact is that in 2009, Kishimoto designed an extra costume for Lars Alexanderson for Tekken 6. In 2010, this character appeared in Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 as part of a special cross-promotion. In 2010, Kishimoto produced a one-shot baseball manga called Bench as part of Jump's Top of the Super Legend project, a series of 6 one-shot manga by famed Weekly Shonen Jump artists. Anyways, more recently, Kishimoto in 2017 decided to aid the work of Boruto whilst he overlooked Mikio Ikimoto and Ukyo Kodachi to take on Boruto towards success. But in 2019, Kishimoto wanted to dive back into the world of the shonen genre, however with a totally different series, and that was Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, but it didn't gain the same success as Naruto and instead was cancelled on March 23rd, 2020, where it had spanned on for 43 chapters. Most recently, in November 2020, Kishimoto announced that he would take on writing duties from Kodachi with the Boruto series. So there is still so much to see of Kishimoto's works, and I'm so glad that he is more integrated with the Boruto series now. Well, of course, during the publication of Naruto, Kishimoto had gotten married and had kids, but he was extremely busy with the Naruto series, explaining why he sort of influenced Naruto's character in the current Boruto series, where he is constantly working and rarely gets to see his family. So adult Naruto was based off Kishimoto's experiences as a father. Another little fun fact for you guys is that Kishimoto mentioned how the inspiration of Sakura came from his wife. Well, Masashi Kishimoto, going from his bad grades and obsession with basketball and baseball, went on to become one of the greatest shonen mangaka of all time. Can you imagine all it took was that decisive moment of Kishimoto finding that Akira poster and deciding on wanting to become a manga author? Kishimoto's resilience, discipline and hard work all paid off. He was grafting for over 5 years before getting his big break with Naruto, going through many failures with different series. But of course, these trial and errors led to him being immortalized throughout the manga community. It's exactly like the quote from Michael Jordan, "I've missed more more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. So many of us can take inspiration from Kishimoto's life. Not only did he ingrain Naruto's believe it catchphrase into us from an early age, but he left countless of life-changing meanings in this series. So for you guys who are watching and already think you failed at life, all it takes is that one single point for you to find your true purpose. If Kishimoto can decide on becoming a mangaka from just an Akira poster he came across, you can literally do whatever you want. Failure is a part of life, but it leads to infinite success. So if no one has hopes in you or your dreams, look them dead in the eyes and say,
"So believe it! Then believe it!"
But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little different. I've seen a lot of these videos with famous people, but I haven't seen any of them on the major manga authors who shaped our childhoods, so I just had to do one on Masashi Kishimoto. If you guys enjoyed this type of video and want to see other manga authors covered, comment down below who you'd like to see next. As always, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.